Hello and welcome to the new season of IFT Division 1 where we welcome you here at Australia for round 1 of the new season. New game as well, so order might get mixed up a little bit here. Hello Trouble, welcome to the stream. Good luck for the qualifying here tonight. I'll be joined here by Jesper and I've got to check if we can hear him on the stream actually.
Hello, everyone. I am here. I am ready for Q1. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Let's go.
Yes, goal. It is looking good here tonight. 16 drivers. Apparently a full quali, which is a bit interesting with 16 with only 16. We'll see how that pans out. Doesn't look like any rain thus far.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I did forget to mute. So, yeah, there we go.
Good, right. So we'll get everything up. Obviously, Fusion is the champion going into the season. Won the championship last season by 20 points in that season finale where Axel missed out with DNFing out last race. I don't believe he's here with us tonight, but it was which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Maybe someone will be joining us, joining the session mid qualifying. Mercedes missed out on the constructors last season. They'll be sure to want to get that back, and Red Bull also. Are now the constructors champions going into this season, so they'll be wanting to hold that. But with only one driver, that's going into round 1. That is going to be tricky. And who heads out first? I see Toby's heading out. See his garage getting ready to go.
Yeah, and looks like the McLaren.
Yes, it is. Here we go. He is heading out. Oh, the first one out of their pit garage. And yeah, what do we reckon we're to expect today?
I am expecting a lot of understeer because I think obviously it's a very fast track.
Yeah.
So a lot of low wings, but you have sector 1, obviously. With the first chicane and then this a low speed section, which can cause a little bit of trouble if you have two low wings. So will be interesting to see.
Yeah, grip. Also, with it being Q1, the grip won't be quite there yet at a few corners, so won't be out. So you're not able to push as much on the limit as you will be able to later on when we get into Q3, as I believe someone has actually joined. I think that's Xbox 7 Up, who has just joined. And it is indeed. So there is 2 Red Bull drivers here tonight, which is good news for the Milton Keynes team. But anyway, Toby's heading into the last sector. Will be starting the first lap of the Division 1 season as he's going around about to start going around the final 2 corners, and he's heading around the final corner. Do you want to take us away?
All right, I'll take us away across the line here into turn 1. It's a very tricky one because you can cut turn 1 a lot, and that is why it's so tricky going wide in turn 2. And yeah,
that was short-lived.
That is hilarious.
And Carter has just said, rain in the race.
Oh.
Right. Oh, that's a massive oversteer out of turn 1.
Yeah, he cut the grass, had some grass on the tires.
Yeah, he affected the grip going out of turn 1 and out of turn 2 Oh, he's having a bigger snap of oversteer. Somehow he's not out of qualifying with that. It's only wing damage.
Is, maxed, but
and he's got to get out of the way because Trouble's on the lap. He's just about got out of the way. A 26.7 though, that is not really what he's looking for. I don't know if there was a mistake in there or if he genuinely got held up by Atom, but he's realistically a 26.3 or 26.4. What he's probably looking for in the first sector. Not optimal.
Oh, and has used a lot of battery.
He has indeed. We'll see how that manages. He's gone very deep. And that lap's pretty much in the bin. So that's a set of soft tyres that will go in begging. As we'll be heading to Q2. Another error. With just going deep and snap of oversteer and he hits the barriers. So there's a lot of mistakes being seen here tonight. As trouble 18-4. That was, yeah. There we go. That was always going to get beaten. Alfie with a 16.278. We can definitely go faster than that though. Even if it is only Q1. With Fusion now going around the final corner. What time is he going to set? It's only a 16.4. Currently the 16.2 has not been topped yet. As we now cut to a Salvo also starting that out lap. Xbox 7 Up is in the pits.
We have Toby back on the lap.
How is it looking for him? 44.2 after the first 2 sectors. I can't quite recall how strong that is. But we're going around the final 2 corners. I guess we're about to find out. Quite a lot of errors been seen there. It is 15.987. That's kind of what we're expecting in these early stages. Only 16.6 for Toby. 15.987. That's kind of the benchmark we was expecting in Q1. As we now cut to speed going around the final corner. The man that has been under a lot of scrutiny before this for doing a lot of practice. And currently he is fastest here in Q1.
Yeah, we have the Mercedes allegedly going purple at least in Sector 2.
Very nice stuff. It's all about just getting through though. Cannot make an error now as a Haas right in front of him. That he's not doing a good job for him of getting out of the way. Get all the dirty air out of the final 2 corners, but we'll have a decent-ish slipstream up to the line. But it's only 16.737. Definitely wasn't helped by the Haas.
No, of course in this game you have to get out of the way a lot earlier because of the dirty air.
Yeah, it's a lot more powerful. You can't do... Well, you probably saw a lot on last game in League Races where there was just constant slipstream. At times, throughout a whole lap, you could slipstream because dirty air just quite simply wasn't really a thing. But this game is a lot stronger and it punishes you a lot more if you go over the limit.
Yeah, I think this track and Austria was 2 of the tracks where you could probably like stay the whole lap. And it gained you a lot and would lose you.
Aston's gone a bit wide at turn 1. Yeah, I think still this track is probably me the best for overtaking we'll see this season with the 4 DRS zones. Not really much of an opportunity to get out of DRS unless there's a lot of battling going on the first lap or you have a super lap 1 to just get out of DRS. We'll see. Quite a lot of errors been made in the first 8 minutes of this qualifying, I must say.
Yeah, but it's a new game. It's you're trying out the limits, trying what works.
Yeah. A lot of people pushing over the limit, getting track invalidations, having snaps or oversteer. Speaking of which, Strike also has invalidated that and is going again. And someone else has just crossed the line. I believe that's Statlev. Yep, going 6th fastest in Q1. Aston's going around the final 2 corners. Let's see what the Mercedes man can set here. 17.0. He's going to probably have to improve on that. I say that as a lot of people have not even set a lap time. Nilo goes 5th fastest with a 16.4. I don't know. I don't really feel like we've seen the true pace of a lot of these drivers just due to errors and general the gaps that we're seeing, especially from like second to third and third to fourth, it's quite decent gaps. So it feels like I haven't
Yeah,
really seen the true pace yet.
there we go. A 16-0 from Coral going
Yep,
up to P3.
not a bad job from him. As 7 Up going across the line to start his lap, 27.5. And I believe an Alpine just crossing the line. There it is, Master Strike with a 15.768 goes quickest. That's a very good lap. And that will easily get him through. And now I think Trouble got a bit of a slipstream down the start finish. They were right next to each other on track, and then gets a massive snap of oversteer. Out of turn 3, and still fighting the car. Out of turn 4. How's the first sector looking? 27.2. It's half a second off. Trouble could be. Okay, excuse the pun, but I'm in a lot of trouble here at Q1. I didn't think of what else to say. That didn't sound like a horrible pun, so we ignore any of that.
Have 7 Up coming through the final couple of corners here. As it goes a little bit wide, but it's still legal.
Yeah, he's going around the final corner, the Division 2 man. He won on Tuesday with a very, very good strategy, and he goes 10th fastest, 16.666 for Xbox 7 Up, and that puts him just into the top 10. I think McLaren is in the pits actually, and Trouble, he's in a difficult spot. His pace looks strong here. Time trial and even in the pre-season beforehand, it looked quite strong here. But there is a strong possibility of getting it on count in Q1 here.
And Juice back end has been looking loose all of the last sector here. Goes P15.
Again, excuse the pun. With the rhyming. Oh, Jesus. Right, who else do we look for? Carter is 1.3 down. Is anyone else really on a lap? No, not really at the moment. Chow's now retired from session. Speed has retired from session. I'm guessing that means Strike also will retire from session because they all think they are safely through. Where do we reckon is the cut-off point? After about 10 minutes for Q1, where do we reckon the cut-off point will be?
I think a 16.2 is still safe. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be 15 or 14 drivers in Q2 because of it being less drivers.
Yeah.
But even so, maybe even just getting under a 16.8 is probably even safe.
Yeah. Also, with the rain and the race, there's probably going to be quite a few drivers. I don't know how much of the race it was. I don't know if it's completely like rain throughout. But there's a chance there's going to be a few, well, probably a lot of the drivers actually are going to be adjusting their setup to suit that more, and they're probably not really used to it. Hence the amount of errors.
It definitely depends on if it's coming right at the end or if it's like 2 bars at the end of rain. Because if it's 1, it's most likely we're not gonna see it unless we have a lot of safety cars, which is highly probable on this track, to be fair. But you also have if it's 2, you know there's gonna be rain for a long period, which means you probably sacrifice a lot more here in qualifying.
Atom is now was 4 tenths up after the middle sector. That would put him on this form right now, probably in the top 10. If he can carry that on, and he is in the top 10, 8th fastest. Very nice lap indeed. Also, with rain, there's going to be a lot more. We said about it being easy to overtake here due to the DRS and everything. with the rain in the race, that is going to be completely taken out of the equation, and overtake with now with the dirty air also overtaking can be very well, a lot more tricky than what it would have been in normal circumstances in dry conditions. So yeah, it's put up for more. I wouldn't say more interesting race, but it's definitely going to be more tricky for drivers that aren't starting on, let's say, pole position and are potentially aiming for the win. If it is raining throughout the race, just due to how much more difficult it's going to be to overtake now.
And of course, with it being race or rain in the race, you can either start maybe hards and go.
Trouble! Sorry.
I was on board with trouble as well, having trouble getting it through the last corner.
15th fastest. Has he fueled up enough for another run?
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, you can see on the steering wheel 0.6 fuel. He doesn't have enough. There is a chance he's out here in Q1.
Yeah.
That looks like that might be done if, well, the others can improve by at least a bit. As Juice is now starting his lap.
Yeah, I did see Cooper was on a good lap before visiting Bondi Beach over in a gravel trap, ruining his second run. Obviously, a 131 is not showing his true pace.
Yeah, 5 out of the top 6 have also now retired. Alfie actually on an outlap for one reason or another. Toby also now retires from the session. That is not going to be enough. I don't know why, if you were trouble, why you wouldn't fuel up for multiple runs, especially with the position he was in and the Q1 he's currently having. It's been a horror show. Juice is now invalidated, so that's him out of the equation most likely, depending on his fuel situation and his ERS situation. That doesn't look too great.
It's going very slow on the back straight now to try and regain some battery here.
You can't go too slow though, because there's not a lot of time, or there is quite a bit of time left, but the fuel probably be a bit tricky situation.
Yeah, and he goes into reduced harvesting. I think he'll start the lap with 90%, but it'll be fine.
Cooper heading down into turn 3, downshift into third. Gets the car over to the right-hand side for turn 4. Oh, quite heavily over the exit curb, which will affect his run all the way down into turn 6. Flicks the wheel in. Just under 9 seconds up on his lap, as we are now heading through the middle sector, which is mainly just this long back straight, using quite a lot of battery to try and power his way through the second sector. And what is it looking like on the Delta? Just under 11 seconds of improvement, and he's invalidated. He has invalidated. There is a chance Trouble gets away with this, even though having a bit of a horror show of Q1.
Yeah, it'll depend firstly on this Ferrari in P18 is on the lap, and also how many drivers the game wants to take through.
Yeah, 26.6 in the first sector. I believe that's quicker than anything Trouble has in the first sector. As we're now going.
Gets a lap going.
Juice, by the way, Juice is a 10th and a half up on his final run here in qualifying. Going around the final 2 corners a little bit deep, but that might have been okay. Around the final corner, a bit of oversteer, fighting the car through. How is it going to look? He does go 15th fastest. That will knock Trouble out in Q1. Will Juice be able to survive though? Surgeon going around the final corner. What can he do? Does he get himself through into Q2? Yes, he does. 14th fastest. What can Cooper do? He's on his final run now. Can he make it a double Q1 knockout for Sauber? And can he get himself through the high-speed chicane? Into the third sector we go. And he's used an awful lot of his battery, so he's going to have to save some up for that run down to the line.
Yeah, it only started with 81%, which is why.
Heading round the final 2 corners, trying to get the car turned in, trying to get the power down. Fighting the car a little bit through the final corner. What's it going to be on the time? It's not enough. Oh, is it enough? No, 18th fastest.
Now the question is, how many does the game take through? It does take through 15.
So Juice, Trouble, and Cooper all out in Q1. Trouble, in my opinion, being, from what I've seen, going into this race, probably being the big shock here in Q1. Beetle, the reason why I'm not racing, by the way, I've seen that message in Discord. Beetle, the reason why I'm not racing is because I'm doing comms, you idiot. Anyway, I've been doing comms since last season. You fucking retard. Anyway, going into Q2 now. What do we take away from that first Q1?
That it's very easy to invalidate on this track, which we knew going in. And it is important to leave yourself the opportunity to get another run if you're not sure about going through.
Fair enough. There was quite a lot of errors. I mean, I don't really feel like from that Q1 you saw anyone's true pace. I mean, I guess top 3, 4, maybe like top 5. Everyone from outside that just looked like they just made quite a lot of errors during their lap. It was either going deep or a bit of oversteer, especially in that final few corners. People struggling with the rear tyres a lot, not being able to keep them alive towards the end of the lap. So we'll see if that gets improved here in Q2, as people are now going out straight away. And Beetle, I do get why you would want me to race to see where I'd be. I mean, I'd kind of be interested, but I do also enjoy doing comms. And before this, I hadn't done comms in several months, so I enjoy doing this and doing commentary. It's nothing. Would I like to know where I'd be? Maybe. I'm not asked. I mean, apparently, according to everyone in the server, I'd be fucking. I wouldn't be surprised if everyone said I'd be top 5 or something, but you know. Anyway.
But I mean, you're a little bit of a sweat, so. You could definitely.
I can't deny that. I mean, my Q1 was a 16.3, so you can compare that to the Q3 times we had earlier. You can go back to the stream and have a look where I'd be. No, 16.2, sorry, 16.2. My Q2 was the 16.3, so you can compare if you really want to have an idea. That's up to you.
You'd be P6.
Fair enough. I don't really know what to say. I mean, everyone made an error on their lap, it looked like, so fuck knows. Anyway, Bazza heading down into turn 1. Down into 6th gear. I think he might have missed a gear and missed a downshift because he also went down to 5th. Anyway, down into turn 3. Really goes heavily over the curb. Tries to get the car as much over to the right hand side as possible to get a best exit. Clips the curb, the outside curb. And now turn 6 where it's quite an easy flicking. But quite easy to invalidate. Turn 6, but he was nowhere near the track limits on that one. Don't really use as much battery as he has done, as the others have done. Down this straight. Hello Oliver, welcome to the stream. Been a while. Oh, really hits that curb on the first left hand of the high speed chicane, which kind of compromises line for the exit. Now we head into sector 3. Right hander should be completely flat. Oh no, he's done a bit of a lift. Now through the final 2 corners, look like he's gone quite heavily over the curb again, round the final corner. What is the time going to be? There's probably a few messy moments in the lap, but let's see. 17.4, we'll definitely be seeing quicker than that. But Alfie, next one to cross the line, 16.2 for him. And now another Williams across the line, speed 16.5. Xbox now with the 16.740 across the line. Now McLaren's starting their lap. I see a Haas there in the background. That's going to be Nilo finishing his lap with 16.485. And now there's an Aston Martin going around the final corner of a Lau Chow. What can he do? He looked very strong in Q1. And he proceeds to carry that on with the 16.239. Puts him on what would be the front row, but obviously it's Q2. Statlev goes into the pits. Probably a few too many mistakes on his lap. Now it is Coral to go across the line, 16.270. We have 3 drivers, all the top 3 in the 16.2s. Very, very close. We love to see it. Surgeon has spun out. He must have locked the rears. That's quite a long way down from the third to last corner. But Luck's going around the final corner and she's starting her lap. And who else is... Basler's going into the pits. Anyone else?
Everyone has been invalidating.
Toby? Oh, Toby's invalidated.
Yeah.
That's going through the first sector. Oh, a bit of oversteer out of turn 4. Let's see what the first sector is. Looking for about 26.65. No, it's a 26.7 and goes wide. And that's pretty much, sorry, that's pretty much lapping the bin because that lift was quite massive to make sure that wasn't an invalidation. So definitely go quicker than that. And Aston Martin heading into the pits. We'll look at Aston's lap going into turn 3. Down in third, I believe it's the 2 minutes. Oh, an Alpine's just left the pit lane and an RB also. Still quite more of the same. Quite a lot of invalidation still. The laps really have been quite messy here tonight. 26.4 in the first sector for Aston. That is quite a good first sector. 26.4, that's probably what you're looking for to be up there here in Q2. Might be a fresh set of soft, I'm not quite sure. As we are heading now to the high-speed chicane. Purple also now in the middle sector. Not bad through the high-speed chicane. Yes, the understeer is massive. You can't really flick it in like you could last game. In my opinion, a lot better that you can't flick it in like you could last game. Because that was the most stupid thing I've ever seen. Anyway, last 2 corners. Round the final corner. Not bad at all. What will the lap time be? It is a 1:16.364. It is very close between the top 5, I must say. And still quite a lot of people haven't set a lap yet.
Yeah, from 10th and down, I think all of them invalidated on their first run. Jesus. On, I would assume, used tires. Datyev starting his lap is definitely on a new set. You can see the hint of it on the outside of the tire.
McLaren is anyone near the end of that lap? No. They're all near the start, aren't they? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I think it's the V-carb that is the furthest along.
Yeah, the one on Statlev, 26.463. That's a very decent first sector. Round where Atom was a 26.4 in the first sector, so not bad at all. What can he do in the middle? 43.6 after the first 2 sectors. I believe that was about 2 tenths quicker than what Atom did earlier. So very, very good. This would put him as fastest here in Q2, but he's gone deep, and that's the lap in the bin. So we'll be cutting back to Strike, who's done a 43.380 after the first 2 sectors. That is very strong as we're heading around the final corner. What is he going to set? What is he going to set? And it is a 1:15.688. Now that's a benchmark to look out for.
That is half a second in the lead currently.
Yeah, for Fusion Chuck, can he get anywhere near that? The champion from last season, can he get even close to that? It's a 16.231. He gets onto the front row. Obviously, it's Q2. but still 16.231, still 6 tenths off. As we're now looking at Toby, who's heading into the pits, so we'll be cutting to Speed, who's going around the final corner, 3.5 tenths up, with 43.4 after the first 2 sectors, about a tenth down from what Strike did after the first 2 sectors, and now he goes to a 15.734. It is very close between the top two. Ferrari now going around the final 2 corners. Never mind, he is in the pits. Is Xbox on a lap? He's invalidated. Statlev also invalidated. So is everyone kind of in the pits? Actually, no. Sound Coral is on a lap right now. Let's see what he can do after the first 2 sectors. It's a 43.656, about a tenth, just under a tenth and a half up, and he goes wide, and it's invalidation. Still with 5 minutes left of qualifying, 3 drivers have not set a lap time. I must say, I thought the laps would get tidied up a bit, going from Q1 to Q2, but it's been very much the same, just a lot of messy laps.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Do you reckon, because of how messy the laps will be, there'll probably be a lot of track limit penalties when we get to the race, especially it being in the rain. If everyone is running quite understeery setups, which could be an explanation for why everyone's having a validation for going wide. The race, it being a wet race, if that is true, what Carter told us. Yeah, we could see a lot of track limit penalties, and a lot of people struggling.
A 7-up. Invalidates again through turn 6.
A lot of invalidations, like an outrageous amount of invalidations.
Yeah, and a lot of them happening in the same sort of area, turn 6 or turns 1, 2 there.
26.4 for Baza, 2.5 tenths up. It is quite a lot more in these final 2 sections of the lap. It is just the 2 Red Bulls currently on a flying lap. Well, I say 2. 7-up has validated, so it is at the moment only Blade who is on a lap, just over 2 tenths up on his time, a little bit wide maybe through the high speed chicane, especially the right hander where you can cut it quite a lot, not get a track limits or an invalidation surprisingly. But anyway, around the final 2 corners, has he found enough of an improvement to get himself into the top 10 and giving himself a chance of getting into Q3 with about just over 3 minutes left? It's the 16.698 and he is just barely in the top 10. It's more, what did that say? I'm guessing it's more oversteer setup, as if they were use a wet setup. They should have, they should have higher wings. But I say that, there's been a lot of invalidations, a lot going off, so they might still running quite a low setup, but it depends when we're getting, wet conditions, or when it's going to be raining in the race. I guess we'll see. It's very interesting. I must say, there's a massive gap between second and third, also about half a second. Might be saving the car. My guess is as good as yours. Toby, third fastest. McLaren third and fourth. They'll be quite happy with that at the moment. Both cars should be getting into Q3 with how that is going. It is very close from about third down to 11th. 4 tenths separating from third down to 11th. So, would you say Fusion, who I believe has retired from the session, would you say he's fully safe, or would you say that's a bit of a risk, especially with 2 drivers not having set a lap time?
No, I do think he is safe. I think as long as you're gonna be below a 16.5, I do think you'll be safe.
But I believe someone has just set a lap. because also Statlev is now 10th and Baz is now 11th. Also, Oliver, to answer your question, I do not know.
I'll have a quick look. No, at least not according to the flags. There is one Finnish flag though, which I am happy to see.
Chow, 4/10 up after the first two sectors. This would put him into the 1 minute 15s and put him. What's up?
There's the Luxi.
Oh, Lux is retired.
Yep.
In the pits, I'm presuming that is.
Nope. Oh, and that's rear wing damage from the Sauber. But it was after the fast left right.
Damn. Chow has gone faster with 15.4. And now Coral's gone was second with a 15.5. Nilo's in danger here with how much left? There's yellow flags, 20 seconds left. Quite a few people on the run. Xbox 7 Up is one of them that's improving. Just under 3/10 improvement. He can find himself going into the top 10 here at qualifying. Let's see what he can do. Round the final corner we go. Can he put himself into the top 10? Yes, he can. 1:16.259. Is Atom improving? No. Statlev is 6,000 down after the first two sectors. It is so close. I don't know what Blade did after the first two sectors, but it is looking incredibly close. Carter, Zalutzi, and Surgeon all out of qualifying. Two of the bottom five here in Q2 have not set a lap time, which just shows how messy this Q2 or this qualifying session as a whole has been. Can Statlev knock Nilo out? He does. He goes 5th fastest. What about Blade? Can he get himself through into the top 10? No, only 12th fastest. That is very close in the end. Especially for those in the low, even those in the low 16s, that was very close.
Yeah, that was very spicy in the end. The cutoff ended up being a 16.3. So a big improvement, and you would have made it into Q3 with your lap time.
Get it!
I think that's everyone. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that is everyone indeed. Nilo is knocked out here in Q2. Blade, Zaluxi, Surgeon, and Carter all knocked out in Q2. Chow tops the timings with Coral, Master Strike in 3rd, Speed 4th, Statlev 5th, Toby 6th, Fusion 7th, Alfie 8th, Xbox 7 Up in 9th, Atom in 10th. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Quite a few contenders for pole position. We will see how that all pans out. We will see. Anyway. So, we've seen what the first two qualifying sessions. Well, I say first two. Q1 and Q2. What do you reckon, who would you say is the favourites going into Q3, and what would to expect overall?
Well, I do think Master Strike is looking a little bit quicker than anyone right now. Chow did have a good second run, but he did have to use a fresh set. I don't know if Master Strike did that. Otherwise, I think it'll be whoever can get their lap together to get the best position.
It's a lot easier said than done going with this qualifying. That's how it's gone on so far.
Definitely. It doesn't feel like it's gonna be about raw pace, but rather who can keep the good laps legal.
We will see. Quite a few drivers also might have used a new set of softs in one of the Q1s and Q2s, because obviously there's a lot of errors made by it. I don't think there was a single driver that hasn't made like at least one messy lap at the moment. It's interesting, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it improves at all in terms of the quality, or I say quality, how clean the laps are, and if they can get both the banker lap and the final lap spot on, or if there will be a few errors like there has been in Q1 and Q2. I guess
Yeah.
time will tell within the next 10 minutes here. The final part of qualifying. This is where it all matters for those who are gunning for pole position. So, feel free to take it away as we head on to the first lap as he gets very close to the wall in the final corner.
Right. Here we go then. Down into turn 1. You want to cut that a little bit? But Alfie does actually nail it. Actually keeps it legal for once. Down into turn 3. Gets it turned around pretty well. Into 4, you don't want to go too wide because that can throw your car. Through 5, and now to the tricky turn 6. Touches the apex and keeps it legal, and now you can just burn a lot of down here. Obviously repurposed a couple of years ago now. Just keeping it tidy, keeping it tight. Through the left-right, cuts a big chunk, but keeps it legal. A very solid lap from Alfie. The very tricky 90 degree of turn 11. Now through turn 12. Down to the penultimate turn, locks up a little bit, but it looks solid so far. Out on the start-finish straight, will run out of DRS deploy, but sets a 15.8, a very solid banker.
15.6 from Chow straight afterwards. What can Strike do to reply to that? 15.6.01, 600th of Nat, speed a couple tenths down. What can the McLarens do? Of Toby, 16.435, 8 tenths down. We need to find a huge improvement to want to challenge any of the top 3. Statlev, Atom now going around the final corner, but he's also invalidated.
Yeah, the bottom 4 had all invalidated, with Statlev is the next one. Lap touches the wall on the outside there.
Yeah, he very much has. It does not look like the mistakes have really been cut out by everyone. There's still a few creeping in, especially as the pressure ramps up. There's a yellow flag down in the second sector, but I believe that's just a few cars going slow to try and get out of the guys that are going on first laps as that lap invalidates.
Yeah, and that's the tricky turn 6 again.
Yeah, there's been quite a lot of mistakes there. 43.8 from Fusion Chuck. It's about 10 off what Alfie did after the first 2 sectors. So if he finds a bit of improvement in this last sector compared to the Williams driver, he might find himself maybe even the top 3, because Speed and Alfie are quite close together. But he needs quite a decent last sector. Can he find that? As he's heading around the final 2 corners. Around the final corner on his first of probably 2 Q3 laps. And he goes 16.0 and it's only 5th fastest.
Yeah, quite solid with a 1 lap old set, of course.
Yeah, it's interesting. Very close between the top 2 former teammates at here at Alpine. Strike and Chow used to be teammates last season. Chow's moved to Aston Martin, and the pace has very much upped to 11. But Coral has something to say about it. 15.494. Could we be in for a bit of a surprise here in Q3? He has been there or thereabouts, to be fair to him, throughout this qualifying. But now he's up the ante, and he's gone for 15.494. That is strong.
Yeah, especially if that is on an old set. I would suspect it's new. I don't know whether Strike used a new set on his first lap.
Not sure. I don't think it's really said. I think they. Oh no, they might have done. I think they might have all used to use set. It says 2 laps, but I don't know if that is BS. Might be BS.
It doesn't take into account laps from previous sessions.
Yeah. It's a great game at times when it comes to being useful with information for the commentator.
Yeah, I do wish, and not even my. As we take out some cones with stat level. Fair enough. But I do wish my program that I use as well, that as well obviously can't take the data because the data doesn't exist. Because EA are incapable of making a decent game.
Good. Ay. Oh, let me just quickly get a charge. Something to charge my phone because my phone's about 3% and it's nearly going to die. So there we go. How's that looking? Yep, should charge, but it is only a 3% battery, so I won't be looking at it for a minute. So everyone on our lap speed is now on his hot lap, so I'll take it through this time. Going down 5th gear, wants to cut as much of turn 1 as he can, use as much turn 2 as he can on that for that left-hander. Now wants to switch over slowly to the left-hand side for turn 3, hits the apex quite nicely, switch over to the right-hand side, get a good run out of turn 4, goes quite over the curb, not terribly though. And it's a 26.1 in the first sector. That is probably one of the quickest first sectors we have seen so far. A little bit messy, I thought, through turn 6, maybe just turned in a little bit too early. As we are now going to down the long straight of sector 2. 10.5 up. Still purple in second sector apparently. High speed chicane, not too bad through there. Now we enter. Now we are in sector 3. Final 3 corners, flat out through the right-hander here. Final 2 corners, tyres will be struggling quite a bit, especially going around the traction for this final bend. What is the time going to be? He's looking for about 15.4. Can he better that? Yes, he can, by 18 thousandths of a second. Didn't really care who comes out on top here in qualifying or the race, as long as it's close. And it is by about 18 thousandths of a second. We are in for a mighty last 3 minutes. As Xbox 7 Up is now on an outlap, or qualifying lap also. Can he put himself up into a decent position? I might as well remind you, he is Division 1 driver, Division 2 driver, sorry. So the fact that he's gone top 10, very good stuff, but he hasn't validated what might be his final run if he's not got enough fuel, and he definitely doesn't have enough battery to go back-to-back laps. So, can Sam Cole deny speed pole? It is close.
Yeah, we also can't forget Master Strike, obviously P1 in both Q1 and Q2.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes to decide who is on pole position. And here we go. Coral, it is 75 seconds to heaven for Coral here in the Haas. Very nice through turn 1 and 2. Uses a bit of battery. Wants to be as smooth as he can, moving from right to left for turn 3. Nice little brakes, flicks the car in. Switch the car into the right hand side. Oh, really goes over the exit curb of turn 4. Might have cost him a little bit of time if he didn't go over that quite right, but he is just under a tenth and a half up. That was a mighty first sector, 26-0. I think that was for the first sector from Sound Coral. Now, down the long straight, just relying on the power that he has and the setup that he has. He is now just over a tenth and a half up, going through the high speed chicane now into the final sector. The final minute here in qualifying. Very tricky braking zone that we've seen get wrong plenty of times here in qualifying, but he got that very nicely slowed down. Final 2 corners. Can he snatch provisional pole from speed round the final corner? What can he do? He's using all the battery he has. DRS up to the line. It's a 15.166. It is provisional pole by 0.3 of a second. That looks like that'll take some beating.
Master Strike currently on the lap as well. Coming up to the end of Sector 1 right now.
It's a 26.034. It's not over yet, but he's invalidated. He's invalidated. That's his qualifying over.
Chow starting the lap now.
Chow starting the lap now. He's so close to validation through turn 2. Using all the track he possibly can. Sorry, I'm just trying to find someone near the end of the lap. Not bad though, it doesn't look thus far through sector 1. What is it going to be in the first sector? It's 26.193. It's not optimal. It's definitely not as quick as Coral through the first sector. He probably needs to find a bit more time if he wants pole here, if he wants to snatch what would be quite a shock pole to steal a 15.166. But he is just over 3.5 tenths up. He is in the ballpark, but he does need a mighty last sector. He needs a tenth and a half to get pole position. Can he do it?
Fusion coming over the line right now. Give me 1 second.
Fusion
P5.
goes 5th fastest. Mercedes going across the line. He goes 8th fastest. Chow now going round the final corner here in qualifying. Can he snatch pole? No, he misses out by 0.04 of a second. What about Stalev? 8th fastest. Sound Coral takes pole position here at Australia for round 1 of Division 1, a 15.166. It took something mighty, but in the end, it was the Haas on pole position. Chow with a very good effort to take P2. Speed P3. Strike. He invalidated his last run. He looked there or thereabouts all qualifying. But when it mattered, he just invalidated his last run and missed out the opportunity to take pole position and is now 4th fastest. Fusion in 5th. Alfie 6th. Toby 7th. Statlev 8th. Adson 9th. And 7up in 10th place. Was not able to set a lap time there in the end. Wow. Wow. What could we expect in the race with that?
I think it will definitely depend on who has, when the rain comes, who has the best setup for that, and who is just more comfortable in the wets, obviously. But it's going to be a race until the rain, and then it's going to be another race. Oh, never mind.
Here it is. It is raining. It is raining from the get-go here. If anyone's actually in the league, in driving this race and in the live chat, are you able to if you could let us know if it is raining the whole race or if it's just like the start, or if it's like a mixed weather conditions, or just say if it's mixed or whatever. I don't know. Would be ideal to have an idea on what's going on. But yeah, wow. Everyone is going. Oh, go on the race director, Jesper.
Yeah.
There are dries. They can't even change over to inters. By the way, that's not even an option.
Oh yeah, but I don't know if you were in PRL, but we had this in Brazil. Oh yeah, you would have been. It was season 8. It started with this sort of weather.
Yeah.
Then the question becomes, is it going to get worse, or are everyone just going to be on ice skates for the first 4, 5, 6 laps?
The problem is that it's clear if it is suggesting dries, it might be too hot. Like the tire temps on the Inters might just get too hot, meaning the possibility of them running the Inters is not really possible.
Yeah.
Oh, it is going to be hell. It is going to be hell though for these drivers. These first, how many
And
laps it will go on for, I don't know. How long this
turn one will be very interesting. I can tell you that much for free.
turn one is going to be absolute hell. Dirty air is going to be hell in these conditions. We will
I'm
have.
just gonna take a 30-second pause to get a drink. Oh, never mind.
Oh, here we go.
Fuck me,
5 red lights. Here for round 1 here in Australia. It's pedal to the metal, and Alao Chow seems to have got a good start. There is so much wheel spin for everyone off the start. It is going to be chaos down into turn 1. Speed and Chow wheel to wheel through turn 1. Speed goes a little bit wide, but he takes second place. Off for Chow. Down further down the order. They seem to have behaved themselves quite nicely, but heading into turn 3, quite a hard braking zone. Can everyone survive? It looks like Haas at the back. How's it gone round?
Nilo got tapped. Oh, and Nilo taps the Sauber.
And that is a virtual safety car.
Yeah, the Sauber. I think it looked like when you're trying to bump draft, and the car would just not have it and peeled off into the right. I think he hit the wall like straight on, so he has just lost the front wing. But the whole front wing is gone.
Well, while we go through this, while this virtual safety car is underway, we'll go through the tyre selection. Top 6, all on the mediums. Statlev on the soft, Atom on the mediums, Alfie on the soft, 10th down to 13th, all on the medium tyre. Trouble on the hards, Cooper on the mediums, Nilo Pigeon on the hards, and then the bottom 2 on the mediums. And as soon as I get that done, we are underway, and Atom has jumped Statlev on the virtual safety car restart.
Yes, Statlev did not have a good restart at all, lost 2 positions.
Oh, collision between Toby and Strike going around the final corner. I don't know if Toby's lost a bit of wing, and there's a few people going into the pits early doors.
Yeah, we have about 5 cars in the pits. I am with them right now. Gonna have a little look on the tires. It's intermediates, at least for Statlev. It's for 3 of them.
For 4 of them
wing
now.
For the Ferrari.
By the way, Toby has wing damage on his right-hand side. The right end plate there has gone. He hit Strike up the rear on the final corner. I don't know quite what happened there. And it's 3 wide. Be careful, guys. Oh, more contact. Oh, there's a lot of contact. There's a lot of contact. There's a lot of damage. That's got to be a virtual safety car at least. And it is. My word. To say it's been messy these first 2 laps would be an understatement. It has been chaos at times.
5 cars ending up boxing for intermediates. Interestingly, Flappy Pigeon, who joined a little bit late, has gone on to a set of medium tires after boxing, so opting on the dry set. Interesting.
Oh, Surgeon with a drive-through as the virtual safety car has just ended. Cooper fan got past Xbox 7 up on the restart. And so has Nilo! Oh, they're both onto the gravel! But they just can't deal with the lack of grip that is going on right now on these dry tyres. Coral's now into the pits. He's taken a big gamble. He's taken a huge gamble. The driver in the lead. He is going for the Inters. I would presume he is the intermediate tyres. Speed stays out. Chow stays out. Fusion stays out. Everyone really, a lot of people stay out. What is the better tyre at this stage of the race? It is very tricky. Because these conditions are very slippery for those on the drive.
I think the delta is about the same. If they ask Jeff or Mark about now, it'll say the tires are an interesting one because there's no clear faster tire.
So currently, Coral about 16.5 seconds off the leader, which is Speed. We'll have to keep an eye on that gap. Well, in fact, we'll leave that Actually, I'll have the interval. Because I have got the POV, I might as well see what's the closest battle as Nilo gets past Surgeon for 7th place. Not bad stuff. Probably see a lot of everything down that straight. Well, I say that it's still raining at the moment. Again, I don't know if it's been like this the whole race. Clearly, it's going to be like this for a while for people to still want to go on inters. I will say, Coral has dropped from about 1.6 to 2 seconds to Xbox 7 up. But top 3 all in the pits. But Atom and Strike both stay out. And I say that, and Coral all of a sudden catches up by about 1.5 seconds. I think it's Inters. Yeah, it's definitely Inters. Look at him, he's going around the outside. Coral, the Hurst driver might have made a genius strategy call and timing on the timing part of things on when to come in, and he has stayed in the lead. I think, has it really been that much of a difference? Not really. Well, I say that, he will have a bit of a difficult turn 1 speed, but yeah, 1.5 seconds. He has made a bit of a gain through that pit stop.
Yeah. I think to me, obviously, I'm a very big fan of the wets. To me, I would be listening to Mark and asking how long the rain is gonna stay. If it's supposed to stay for a little bit of a longer period, I'm following the Sound Coral Speed G-Master of boxing for inters. But if he's saying that dries are imminent, then I would stay out like Atom or Moss Strike here.
It is still raining, that is the only problem at the moment for those on the drive. In fact, it looks like it's got a bit heavier since the start of the race.
It does. It does look a little bit heavier, but it does feel a little bit like Russia.
Strike stays out! Strike still stays out! Holy shit! But now, and Strike stays out, Atom stays out, Cooper goes in, Nilo stays out, Surgeon's now pits. Top 3 have all stayed out for those dry tyres. What will come out on top here?
Yeah, and for Atom obviously wants everyone to stay out. He wants a big of a buffer as he can get. Obviously, Coral not having to overtake right now, can just focus on getting every inch of perfection.
Yellow flags, safety car! Oh my word, that could not have been more perfect for the top 3. If it does dry up, or if it's staying like this, they can box onto a new set of inters and get a bit of advantage on tyre wear. But if it's going to dry over the safety car, they're laughing because they're in the top 3 now. What do they do now? The safety car has come out. What do they do now? That has really thrown a spanner in the works. Because everyone will get closed up now. I don't quite know what the cause of that safety car was.
Yeah, I didn't really see anyone.
Do they box? Atom boxes, Strike boxes. It's kind of a no-brainer now to box, you'd think. What is the gap, by the way? 15 seconds to Sound Coral from the leader. I don't know what the delta is. But he might.
It's about 15 seconds if I remember from the real life race.
So top 2. What was the top? I think Atom might take the lead here. Or it's going to be very close between the 2 of them. Sound Coral keeps the lead. Oh, it's so close going into turn 1. He goes a bit deep. Speed will lose out second though. But no, Coral's gone on dries.
Coral's gone on hard.
He's gone on the hard tyre.
Adam, sorry. Has gone on hards. And obviously Nilo stayed out.
Well.
People boxing at the back as well.
Are they going
or mixed?
Juice going on dry. I see set of inters there for Pigeon and set of inters there also for Luxor and the front wing change. Huh. Nilo stays out for hard. Yeah, Nilo stays out for hard. Atom boxed onto a new set of hards.
The fact that we have no data as commentators is just outrageous.
You have nothing on what the weather's going to be like. It's like 5 laps. Or an idea at least.
Meanwhile, real life, you always hear the commentators say, yeah, I'm just going to check the radar. Yeah, the rain looks to be coming in about 15 minutes. Yeah, cool. Thanks, EA.
Bastard. Oh. Anyway. Top 2, both Hasses, but it is a Hass 1-2 at the moment, but one of them's on dry and the other one's on wet tyres. You would think they box based on the weather we've got right now. In terms of Nilo goes on to a set of inters, but does he? Nope, he stays out, and so does Atom. I have no idea where this is going.
No, it's very spicy. I've never been a part of this. Obviously, I did have a race like this, but it only started like this, and then a few laps later it was bone dry.
Juice boxes. I'm guessing that's onto a set of inters? I think. I don't know at this point.
I'm guessing it is. Yeah, it looks green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carter also in. Oh, he almost crashes into the pit lane. I must say, by the way, worn tyres on a safety car restart in these conditions, yeah, good luck. Especially when they're cold. Carter also on the inters. Again, I still don't really know what to expect. I'm presuming safety car is going to be nearly. Car might be a bit far away for it to come in this lap.
Yeah, it's one more lap at least.
Son of a bitch.
And that means I can take a drink. Give me 1 sec.
Good. Oh, my water bottle doesn't have a lot of water in it. So yeah, first enough. Again, I don't really understand the thought process, but I'm not the one with the weather forecast. So, both Red Bulls on the drive as well.
Yeah, it really depends on what Mark is telling them. If Mark is telling them the delta between the tires is fine and the light rain is gonna stay for 10 minutes, you can probably stick it out.
The one thing I will say is for Nilo and Atom, they started 9th and 10th and 11th. They've not really got much to lose in terms of from where they started. I guess it might be the thought process behind it. Start left boxes. What is this going to be onto? It's onto a set of dries. What is going on?
So we have people boxing from fresh dries to inters, and now we have people boxing from fresh inters to dries. I have no idea what's going
on. Give me a minute. Can you actually give me a minute? You can entertain the people with your charisma.
Yeah, absolutely. Pure charisma, here we go. But yeah, the wet weather, or well, the somewhat moist weather at least, very, very interesting. It's going off of looks, obviously a pre-patch, this would have been inters quite easy. Right now, I think inters are probably faster right now. We see Nilo having to work the tires super hard to get any sort of heat, as we have safety car in this lap. Nilo, the one advantage they have currently is they will know when they go. Coral will have no idea. It's going very quick and not letting a lot of gap to the safety car.
I am back.
Perfect.
Oh, yep.
I was just saying, Nilo, the one advantage they have is obviously they know when they will go, but the grip is going to be low compared to Coral.
It's going to be non-existent. We'll see. You can't really go out these final 2 corners, you would think. because good luck with trying to get out of them with these tyres.
He has gone out of the final
He
corner.
is going to fourth and just slammed it on the throttle. I can see what he's done there. He's not going to lose first at the moment. Atom on the back of Town Coral. But Speed's now coming out of turn 2. Is he going to get a good run on him? Not really. Hasses don't swap places either. And the dry tyres are holding up a lot better than I thought they were on this restart. So everyone is going incredibly slow though, I will say.
Yeah, it's looking very gingerly right now. I think no one has a grip. It's too dry for inters. Obviously cold inters as well. But it's too wet for dries, especially hard tires.
Atom might have a run here on Sound Coral. He's trying to go around the outside, going to the high-speed chicane. He doesn't quite have the speed. But Coral has to burn the battery. Oh, it's a bit of a mess. They've sorted themselves out. Atom gets a lovely run on Coral. He's going to go down the inside. Can he get it done on the dry tyres on a wet track? Yes, he can. He's up into second. But Coral gets the stretch back. This is sensational racing between the two. There's contact though, and through goes Speed into third place. But can he get it done? No, Atom has the inside line. Speed will have the run around the outside and get the traction down through the final corner. And oh, that Atom somehow loses the place. And DRS is enabled.
Yeah, that usually tends to dries being slightly faster.
It just looks very equal. It just looks.
I do think it's equal. Very equal right now.
Incredible. Strike and Alfie going side by side through a very interesting part of the track. I must say, it's going to be very close to contact between the pair of them. Oh, they've hit the wall! Oh, there's a massive crash. Is that going to be a safety car? Yes, it is. That's a massive crash.
I just saw it on the stream playback. That's not intelligent driving. I can say that.
Oh, shut through the. Oh Jesus!
The interesting thing here is, so obviously everyone who's used as a Xbox 7 Up gets a drive-through. Everyone who's used Inters doesn't have to use 2 different compounds in the dry, but someone like Nilo does have to box for another set of dries at least.
Yeah.
So he will have to box for mediums or softs at some point.
Yeah.
Or can go on to whatever he'd like, for example. He doesn't box. Oral does box.
This is interesting. What do they go on to?
I'm guessing a set of mediums? Or a set of hards? Hards for Coral.
Trouble stays out on the inters.
Cow hards. Obviously everyone...
Pigeon stays out.
Everyone can go hards.
Pigeon stays out on the inters.
Interesting. Trouble as well.
Now all of a sudden, everyone's on the dry, except for Pigeon and Trouble. This race has been chaos. Alfie also on the inters now.
Yeah.
What is going on?
And the interesting thing is, technically only Nilo does have to box again. In terms of tire-wise. Obviously, we might see the Inter guys box once more, but the hard runners, everyone currently on hards, does not have to box again. The tires will survive. They will not be as good as last game, but they will survive. And also, they have been on 2 different compounds or inters.
Unreal. Unreal.
So Nilo has gone from prime position to, oh god, we need help position.
Oh god, no. Amazing line. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, this race. The top three in the qualifying heading to this race, was, I believe it was Coral, Speed, and Master. No, sorry, Coral, Speed, and Shao. Sixth, seventh, and eighth.
Yeah.
And then the top four, one of them was out in Q1. The one leading the race was out in Q2. Atom was, he finished like 8th or ninth in Q3, and Pigeon, I'm pretty sure, was out. No, he wasn't out in Q1, he was out in Q2. Amazing. Yeah. Amazing race. It's definitely not been the cleanest, can we just clear that up? But my word, has been entertaining and just fucking confusing for the commentator.
Yeah, it does not help that we have 2 bits of data. We have tires and we have lap times. That's about it.
It's mental. Mental.
Oh, I've just realized it does say under the speedometer which ERS level they are currently in.
Yep.
If you have that on.
Safety car in this lap, by the way.
Yeah. Nilo again with the restarts.
It's going to be a bit more tricky because tyre wear is also now a little bit higher than it was last time.
Yeah. Oh, the tires doesn't look very warm either with that little bit loss of traction there.
Right, let's see how this ends out. I have no idea where this is going to end up. With, well, half the top four on completely different tyres in terms of wets and dries. Anyway, he has gone, Nilo. Atom is following suit with the slipstream. Trouble also following suit. A bit of battling at the back with Cooper and Carter, it looks like.
We had Atom and Nilo side by side now.
Oh, they are side by side. Trouble might take the lead here on the intermediate. He's going down the inside here. Pigeon! Oh, Pigeon!
Super deep.
Where is Pigeon going in all of that? Trouble takes the lead here on the intermediate tyres. Unbelievable stuff. Yellow flag. Statlev in the wall. Another safety car.
Yeah, we had a couple of cars side by side through turn 5. Obviously, low grip and heavy cars. And yeah, that's a recipe for disaster.
Right, what does Trouble do here now? He leads here in Australia on the intermediate tyres.
Yeah, obviously we can't listen to Mark, so we have no idea what they're saying. But obviously it will depend very much on what he's saying.
What is Atom? Atom is clearly not paying attention. He's run up the back of Trouble.
Oh.
And he's got wing damage.
Well, he has
on the left end plate. Yeah, he has to box. The left end plate is gone.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
I believe it is. I saw something come off the back, the front of that car.
All 3 box.
All 3 of them box, which is kind of understandable.
Speed is gonna take the lead.
No, Coral box is also. Speed takes the lead. Fusion in second. Chow in third. Basil fourth. Toby 5th. Surgeon 6th. Cooper fan 7th. All of a sudden, Coral, who was leading the race, is now nearly last. He's actually got to repair his front wing. And he's now nearly last. Nilo, who was leading the race, now on 14th. Trouble, who was leading the race on the safety car, came out 13th.
I am utterly confused.
And now everyone's on the dry. This has been the only time in the race, barring lap 1, where everyone's been on the dry tyre or wet tyre. It has been fucking bananas.
Yeah, and it's still raining, by the way, which is just hilarious scenes.
Oi, oi, oi. There is definitely a lot of angry people with that pigeon incident. It looked like he completely outbroke himself at turn 3. I think he almost cut the corner. Yeah, it wasn't great. Let's leave it at that. Well,
Oh,
from first down to ninth, all on the hard tyres. Somehow, by the way, track limits wise, so, 4 drivers have got track limit penalties. Only 4.
yeah, and I know at least Xboxes.
No, sorry,
Uh,
two has track limits. One has a one from guessing speeding in the pit, and the other one is speeding under the drive-through for speeding on the safety car.
oh, oh, and
No,
Flappy's.
sorry, 7 up, 7 up. Sorry, as one for speeding on the safety car.
Yeah, Flappy has cutting the corner when they decided to go 3 wide into turn 3, which did not work out.
It's not surprising that didn't work out. But yeah,
No,
first down to ninth on the hards. I'm just that whole incident. Alfie 10th on the mediums. Carter 7 up on the hards. Trouble on the mediums. Nilo on the mediums. Pigeon on the hards. Adson, Sam Coral and the Luxy on the hard tyre. Yeah. And it has, I want to say it's got lighter, the rain. It definitely looks like it's got lighter, a lot lighter since earlier. It might,
Oh yeah.
yeah. No idea what to expect. No one's been able to manage it at all under these conditions.
Oh, it's been very chaotic. Unfortunately, not a lot of clean racing. We have seen a couple of instances of a couple of good battles, but as we have safety car in this lap, but hopefully now with the rain subsiding, we might get some good racing for the second half.
It stopped raining completely now.
Yeah.
So there it is. It's a bit of a sprint here now. About 13 laps to go once we cross the line. Now it is speed in the lead. Really, everyone now can go to the end on these tyres. Unless there's any more drama. It is a sprint to the end now. It is dried up. The conditions it's still going to be a bit of a green track. But it'll wear in as we go along, as the tyres warm up. When does he go as he heads around the final corner? Can he get a good restart? Round the final corner, he is gone. And he gets a mega restart on Fusion, 7/10 the gap. As we look further back, Blade on the back of Chow, he's not going to be able to make a move down into turn 1. We look further back, all single file. Xbox 7 up trying to have a look down the inside, that's never going to work. Everyone's a bit struggling for grip with the green surface of the track. As Trouble is down, getting past Carter trying to hang it round the outside. Everyone's still struggling for grip quite a bit. But Trouble now up into 12th place. Strike up into 8th, I believe. He's moved up a place. It still looks quite messy. Everyone's struggling for grip still, it looks like. It definitely hasn't rubbered in.
Unsurprisingly, to be fair.
Yeah, it definitely has not rubbered in at all.
Toby gets a good run on Baza, who cut the grass a little bit.
Oh, they're side by side through the high-speed chicane, a little bit of contact, but Toby is in now 4th place. I believe he made the overtake there to go up to 4. It's so what a move. Round the outside, a little bit of contact, but a bit of bang wheels won't hurt anyone. We love to see it. Alfie and Strike still fighting out. Trouble now trying to go down the inside of Juice, and more tyre banging as can Juice defend the position. They're so close together. Round the final corner, it is pure chaos here. It's now a drag race going in down to turn 1, which Trouble wins out. Now on to lap 17. Trouble gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So that will affect his final result quite badly, from especially the grid being quite close together. Top 3, by the way, have pieced the scene. They are gone. Especially away from Toby, who's gonna try and catch up as much as he can. Obviously overtaking will still be a bit tricky with the dirty air and the lack of grip, but like we said earlier in qualifying, this track is by far the best on the calendar for overtaking, and Alfie might show an example of that. He's trying to go around the outside of Cooper. He has the slipstream, he has the DRS, he has the overspeed. There's a little bit of contact going down into the high-speed chicane. Master Strike trying to go around the outside, can't quite make it stick. Trouble has a good run on Strike now, but Strike is not having any of it. He's getting past Cooper down the inside. Very nice move indeed. Now Nilo's trying to get past Trouble. There's side-by-side bit of contact. That was so close to a crash, but Trouble gets the switch back. It is 3 wide, you're right. It's chaos for the final point-paying position. As we head down into turn 1, we'll cut to Alfie and Surgeon, and Alfie's just got a 3-second time penalty. Quite unfortunate timing, but he has the DRS and Surgeon heading down into turn 3, can't get close enough though. We head further back, Nilo's trying to get around the outside of Cooper, who breaks late. Trouble gets a little bit of contact with Nilo, and they're still side by side there. This is a lot of scrapping, and somehow none of it ends up in a big crash. They've all kept out the barriers. And Alfie now gets past Surgeon with DRS.
Fusion closing up to speed.
He is.
I think he'll back out here.
Yep, he's going to wait for that final run down into the tricky 90-degree corner. Is he going to go for it? Or is he biding his time? He's biding his time. It's a lot easier said than done though, especially the dirty air. It's very easy to make just one error, one dip of the wheel into the gravel trap.
Yeah, and Toby has dragged Bassa into that fight as well. Not quite getting DRS this time out, I think, but we'll get it on the back straights, most likely.
Fusion truck Toby with the fastest lap of the race. It is looking very good for the McLaren drivers at the moment. As we are heading into turn 3, he will not go for it here at least. If we look further back, is any other moves going to be occurring? Coral trying to go down the inside of Cooper. Cooper goes, oh my word, he almost hit Nilo. And he's into the gravel trap. Yay, that could have been a massive crash. He clearly was not paying attention at all. He was looking too much behind on what was going on behind. But here comes Fusion, round the outside of Speed, into the high-speed chicane. He gets it done. He's into first place. A little bit of a moment, but he gets it done. Can Chow do anything about it? Can he get into second place? No, not quite. But Fusion takes the lead. Last season's champion takes the lead here on lap 19. With 10 laps to go. It is a sprint to the finish. Top 5, all within DRS of each other. Who will take the win here at round 1? Strike gets past Surgeon. Trouble gets past Surgeon. Surgeon's disconnected. And it looks like there's a swap of positions here down at Alpine. Trouble getting past, I believe. Yes, he is. And there we go.
I'll see if I can get Surgeon back in. I cannot.
No, he's not on. He's on Xbox.
Yeah, but yeah, he can't.
Oh, he's going back in. He's going back in. He's back in. As we head through turn 6, it's another go. It's another bit of DRS. He cruises up to the back of Fusion. DRS. It will be a pretty easy move for Speed. What can Chow do? Can Chow throw a bit of a span in the works and try and get into the top 2?
He gets a good run.
He has a very good run. He's using the battery. Fusion goes a little bit defensive. Is Chow going to go for it? No, not quite. He thinks about it.
By that.
Yeah. Strike goes up into 7th. And Trouble up to 6th. Yeah. Chow stays behind in 3rd place. With a full battery pack, by the way. Well, it was. As they go on to lap 21 of 29. 9 laps to go here at Australia. As Sergeant Oatum now retires into the pits. Lux goes up into the final points paying positions, up into P10. Not a bad recovery drive in the end. It would just have been a chaotic race really. To get points at all is a bit of a miracle, as I believe someone's gone off. That is Alfie, that's gone off at turn 3. And that has freed the two Alpines to try, well, more for trouble to try and get the 3-second gap down from Coral. At the moment it's at 1.8. But we'll look further back. Chow and Fusion are quite close together. It must be said, about over a tenth of each other. Can Chow get a run? Not really. Because, well, Fusion on DRS. I will say, I must agree with you, I'm surprised he didn't go for it on the previous lap. But it could have let Speed get out of the DRS if he's not careful about it. So I guess there's that.
Yeah, that is true. By the way, Nyla, who was leading just a few laps ago.
Oh, sorry. Sorry to buy in there. Zeluxi's gone off. Zeluxi's gone off at the penultimate corner. And she tumbled out of the points. Very unfortunate stuff in the end. Nilo, who was leading the race, is... well, Hassel won 2 at one point, and now 8th and 11th. This race has made absolutely no sense whatsoever at times. But we're getting there to the end of it.
Nilo without any sort of end plates as well. Lacking a lot of downforce right now.
Here comes Chow. He's trying to dance around the outside of Fusion, but Fusion uses the ERS. Is he going to go for it? Is he going to get a double overtake, or is he going to try and just dance around the outside? He can't quite do it. Toby, though, might get a good run from all this. He doesn't really. Chow is really... I thought he should have got a move on the previous lap. He's trying to get a move on now, or on the previous attempt to overtake Fusion, but he's trying to do it now, and it's not paid off for him.
It looked like Speed just turned off the ERS.
Surgeon's gone off at high speed chicane, but nothing's doing. I don't believe Cooper, what are you doing? Cooper, we can see you. Cooper, we can see you, you fucking idiot.
Is trying to cause a safety car, but I think we've run out of safety cars now.
Yeah, we've run out of safety cars. And Toby's trying to go around the inside of Chow, but he can't go. He just Chow brakes late enough for it to not work out. Oh, Lux is now trying to get back up into those points paying positions that she lost. Through the into the penultimate corner. We'll cut back to the leaders. Nothing really looks like it's changing, actually.
Yeah, they're just a little bit too far behind from each other. The Alpines swap position.
Yeah, they're trying to catch up to the top 5, well, or more or less pull away from Coral, which they're doing a good job of doing. 2.4 seconds, or now 2.3. Just trying to get trouble, I guess, out of the 3-second penalty that he has got. 6th and 7th. Honestly, in a race like this, it could be worse. As Lux now trying to go round the outside of Carter. Can she get it done? It's a lovely move as she can. Round the outside, and there it goes. Up into P10. Once again up to the points paying position. As long as no mistakes are made in the final 6 laps here in Australia. As we will head into turn 3, we'll keep an eye on the battle actually between P9 and P10. DRS, however, maybe a decent run, thinks better of it and just sits back waiting for this long straight that we've got coming up next. Fusion might be struggling actually a little bit. He has sat quite a few laps behind Speed in the dirt. Yeah, that is one thing I will say. Chow now, by the way, burning a lot of battery. He might fancy a run maybe? No, not quite. He's just a bit too far back, and Fusion with that DRS just has a bit too much straight line speed. But Fusion, he's got a bit of dirt, yeah, Chow had a bit of dirt, yeah. But he is going to go for it, maybe around the outside. Again, he just doesn't look like he commits to it as much. He's really on the rear of the car, but he just can't overtake through this part of the track at all.
Yeah, Fusion with a very good defense as well. Goes inside and then just slowly drifts back outside to take away any sort of space.
Out the final corner, the rear tyres might be going a little bit. And please Jesper, turn down the volume on the stream.
Wait, what?
I swear to God I could hear myself through your mic.
I do not have the stream going.
Okay.
It's muted.
Okay, that might have been something else. I don't know. Anyway,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Here we go. Oh, trouble! Trouble has lost his front wing.
Oh boy.
It's been a day to forget really for Trouble in the Alpine, out in Q1, and it's been a very, very topsy-turvy race, and it's going to end in him most likely being out of the points with that front wing damage. As we are now on lap 25, once again no changes in terms of position between the top 5. Trouble, Buzzer Blade though barely sticking in the DRS. He might actually lose it in a minute if he's not careful. No, he's still in it by like a couple of tenths of a second. In my opinion, I think Fusion needs to get on with it very quickly.
Yeah, the question is, how much is the dirty air affecting him? Because his tires will be more worn than speeds based on that.
Yeah.
Sitting in the dirty air for a lot longer.
Yeah, he has indeed. Oh, Fusion, a little bit deep through turn 3. Trouble also retired in the pits. That's a DNF for him, unfortunately. For him. And we head through turn 6. Once again, down to 5th gear. Trying to maximise the traction. Chow once again burns the battery he has in his disposal, and he has a decent run at Fusion. Is he going to go for it once again, trying to dance around the outside? But no, he stops burning his battery every time he gets near alongside him, and lives to fight for another day, and then gets a massive bit of dirty air.
Yeah, Fusion gets a very good run. Could take a little bit of a higher line and could attack the second part more.
Oh, big oversteer. Fusion again.
But it's getting to crunch time.
Is it
Chow? Chow does have a bit of battery, so could probably go for another attempt. But obviously, Fusion also has some battery, can maybe fend him off.
Also, it's really starting to look like he's struggling a little bit, Fusion. 0.8 of a second that gap was at the start of this lap. Here on lap 27, it's now 6.5 tenths thanks for the DRS heading down into turn 1 and into turn 3, but that gap now opens up a little bit to 0.7 of a second out of turn 6. We go once again. Chow, but the battery. Toby though is right on his rear. Actually, now speaking of the devil, yellow flags out the high speed chicane, but that might get cleared up in a minute. And is Fusion gonna try and take his opportunity here and now? He has massive. He has just quite a bit of understeer though due to the dirt. Yeah, but he is gonna go for it. Here he goes down the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact. Charles now trying to go down the inside. Can he get it done? Toby now trying to go on the outside. Toby's trying to go around the outside. They're all trying to overtake each other. But Fusion takes the lead now as we head onto the penultimate lap. But look at it, struggling on the rear tyres around the final 2 corners. As we head onto the penultimate lap of this race. Speed, realistically, hasn't been on the dirty air as long, so should have the better tyres. But obviously, he hasn't been in dirty air, really, that much at all in the second stint. So won't be as used to as Fusion has been. But look at the battery he's got, Speed.
Yeah.
He has got the full tank of battery.
And also...
Also, Strike. Strike has came into this all of a sudden late on. Where's he come from in all this?
we also can't forget Fusion, been sitting in the hot air for a lot of laps now.
Oh,
Speed.
Speed's gonna have a run around the outside. He's gone. He's easily have it done into the high speed chicane. Now surely now Chow fancies a run down at the McLaren driver. He is using his battery. Oh, he's not having speed, is he? Oh, is he? This guy doesn't really go for it. He kind of half-arts it.
And it's a little bit too nice there.
Yeah.
I wonder if his engine is too hot, so it doesn't get the horsepower.
By the way, 8/10 per second, heading on to the final lap here at Australia. Those tyres are very much on the ropes here for Fusion. He has been in the dirt yet for the majority of the last 10 laps. I think he took a warning there going into turn 1 to try and hold on. But it is 9/10 of a second between the two of them. Speed with the better tyres towards the end of this race. He practiced for this race, specifically to improve his tyre wear, and it looks like it's coming into good use because Fusion is struggling. Fusion is very much struggling. As we head into the detection point for the final DRS, he's not got it. I don't think he's got it. Has he got it?
He's outside.
He's out of it. He is completely out of it. So here we go. This is Chow's final opportunity to take that second place off Fusion. Speed is checked out. He's got the race win, surely, unless there are any major errors. But look at the run Chow's got on the Fusion. He's going to try and dance around the outside. Can he get it done? Oh, he can get it done very much easily before the apex of the corner. And he takes the second place. But Speed, he's practiced a lot for this race, specifically for the tyre wear improvements. And that seems to have clutched up for him in the end, because he had the best tyre wear when it mattered. And he comes across the line to take round 1 here in Division 1 in IFT here in Australia. P1 for Speed, wins it by half a second. It was not going to be easy with the race we had. And Speed comes out on top. Chow takes second place on the final lap. Fusion, yeah, it was so close yet so far. He just ran out of tyres at the end, becoming third place. Toby in fourth. Very good day for McLaren, to be fair to them, despite missing out on potential race wins. A very good day for McLaren, it must be said. Third and fourth. I believe that's top of the, that might be even top of the constructors for them in Div 1 at least. Strike in P5, Bazerblades in P6, Sound Coral, he had pole position, he had such good pace, and it's just all gone away from him. Haas had a 1-2, and they finished 7th and 12th. Unbelievable. Zeluxi, decent recovery driving the end to finish P8, Juice P9, double points for Sauber P9 and P10, Alfie P11, Nilo P12. Cooper fan rounds off the finishers of the final 13 that finished this race as he crosses the line. And that is that, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah. Wow, 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 wow. Indeed.
Incredible. Yeah. Incredible. Time management did it just. The question was time management going into this game. And at one point, during pre-season, Speed looked like he was struggling a lot on the tyre. In fact, he's on a wheel, and he had the same tyre wear that controller players have, to sum it up, on this tyre wear situation. And at the end, he had the best tyres really out of everyone that was in fighting for the lead, for the win in the end, because he wasn't in the dirty air for those last 10 laps, or at least not for the majority of it, and it paid off.
Yeah, and also obviously he had the best engine as well, with it not overheating, because he can stay in the cool air.
Yeah. Wow. That race quite literally had everything. Maybe not have another 9 rounds of that in terms of the DNFs and the safety cars, but definitely on the entertainment spectrum. Anyway, Speed wins here in Australia. Lau Chow in second, Fusion third, Toby fourth, Strike fifth, Buzzerblade sixth, Sound Coral seventh, Lux in 8th, Juice 9th, Carter 10th, Alfie 11th, Nilo 12th, and Cooper rounds off the finishers. Trouble Surgeon, Atom, Xbox, Pigeon, and Statlev all DNFing out the race. That was quite a lot to digest.
Yeah, the weather definitely spiced it up today.
Yeah. Next week, we will be heading out off to Silverstone. Another race where the weather could spice things up even more so because of the unpredictability of the weather over there and a higher chance of rain. So now you know what's in store for the next 9 rounds, or potentially what's in store for the next 9 rounds. You ready for it? I'm certainly am. It has been an absolute blast of a round one. We hope you stay along for the ride for the next 9 rounds. Hope you all have a fantastic evening, or morning, or day, or whatever, wherever you are in the world. Have a good week. And from me and Jesper, adios.
Adios.